Actually, I just realized we don't have to text each other. You're muted though. I can't hear you. But I can't. I can't see the numbers on the players. I can't see who's a 4, 5, or 6. I can barely see the defensive formation. That's more like it. It's still not maximized. Is that maximized? I can't. Your mic is muted or something. I can't hear you. It's not the brightness. It's like I still see black around the side. I just need your football game to take up more. Well, you know what you're doing computer wise. Dennis, I need more cowbell. As the great Groucho Marx once said, I can read all right, but I can't see it. Now you disconnected. There you are. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you see that better?
No, because there's still a lot of black on the sides. You're gonna maximize your Strat football game. You can't do that.
The screen is maximized.
Well, it looked bigger before.
Okay, let me go back to what it was before.
I still can't see it though. you got close before. You got close to where I could probably do something.
Okay, hold on.
Hold on, let me sit closer. Hold on. Do 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 do. Is there going to call this blowout between the 88 Saints and the Lions? Was that one of those good defensive Saints teams with Jim Mora and the linebackers? Triple cast. I was talking. You weren't hearing me on the other one. That's
All right,
better.
I'm back.
Is that maximized?
That's maximized. I think it'll look good on the rebroadcast.
Yeah, but no, I'm sure it will. I mean, you do your rebroadcast all the time, but I can't. If I squint really, really, really hard, I can see his offensive line, but I can't even like read like the stuff here. I don't have my glasses on, and
well, I can tell you what. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Dennis.
No worries. I'll rewatch this and put the audio on top of it, like I did with the AFC Championship game.
Okay.
So if you want, you get your.
You have multiple teams. You have multiple teams in this league.
I coach the Seahawks in the AFC and the Saints in the NFC.
Are you going to play yourself in the Super Bowl?
If I win tonight, yeah. I beat the Bills tonight. The Bills were 14-1-1. That game's up on my YouTube channel if you want to see it.
Who's coaching them?
Chris Bergstrom.
Bergstrom. I don't know. Penalty? Oh no, that was a penalty.
Yeah, personal foul roughing.
Oh, you guys play penalties. Well, stock teams at least it's a more palatable.
Yeah,
it's part of what the team was about.
Yep.
So is this one of those good Jim Morris Saints teams with a good defense and the good defensive linebackers? But
this year in the NFL, and this year, the Super Bowl was the
Niners and Bengals.
Yeah, so the 49ers beat the Bengals, and
no.
The Bengals was coached by Joey Sigliano. They didn't even make the playoffs. The 49ers coached by the 49ers coached by Vince Trevelpiece were a wild card team. The Saints and the 49ers played in the wild card game. And then the Rams were the winners of the NFC West. So 3 NFC West teams made the playoffs. Both wild cards were from the West. And then in the AFC, the Seahawks were 12-4 and finished as the number 2 seed. And I beat the Browns in round 1 and the Bills in round 2. So
how are you going to manage it if you play yourself in the Super Bowl?
Look at that. Draw play, 17 yards. I'll either get a sub, Mike says that, I'll probably have either Mike or Bergstrom coach as the other conference finalists against me. And I'll, of course, coach the Seahawks.
Who the running backs
are?
Is it Ruben Mays on this team? Deuce McAllister? I forget how far back he goes.
This is Ruben Mays, Ironhead Hayward, and Dalton Hilliard. So that was a linebuck to Craig Ironhead Hayward.
Yeah, I can see some of the names a little bit, but
Eric Martin and Lonzo Hill were the wide receivers. John Tice is a tight end. Okay.
All right, Dennis, I'll catch you later. Oh no.
You need to fix it. Kill it. That's not how you spell it.
You need to fix it. No fumbling.
Uh-oh. I tried to advance it and lost it.
Fumble.
Lions recover.
The Lions any good?
They're not. I don't know how he's – well, they actually have a decent quarterback, and they have one halfback that's okay. I think it's this guy, Page. See his card?
Tony Page, yeah. He's a former fullback. Is it halfback or fullback?
Right, fullback. So he's a fullback. And then his regular halfback stinks. So there he goes with his good running back. Only got 2 yards, though.
Who's his quarterback?
Chuck Long.
Chuck Long is a decent card, really? Okay. What about the defense?
Our offensive line has a bunch of zeros on it. So, and the Saints have some decent pass rushers at linebacker.
Absolutely. He's got 0 pass blockers on this team.
Yeah. His offensive line goes 5-4, 0-2, 0-0, 0-0, 4-2. But he has a good flat passer, so he gets a flat pass left.
Okay.
Interception.
There you go.
Got to advance that on the flatty.
He could.
Go.
Oh. I thought you guys, I think I touched that there. No, 25 yards.
Let me turn my volume on.
It's like I can see what's going on.
You just don't know the teams or whatever.
Well, no, I can see what's going on, like after the player or whatever, but I can't like see the guy's names and the numbers and stuff. Because I think I'd be okay now, not knowing the cards and teams and not being able to click. But I can't even read the guy's names.
Yeah, you need your glasses.
I can't tell what John Tice's blocking is.
He's a 6.
I only know what John Tice. I can't tell if it's a 6 or a 0 from here. Yeah, the font seems a lot smaller than usual, but I don't know. I think when I rewatch a game, it blows up on my whole screen, whereas this is only about 2/3 that size.
Right. Fair enough.
Maybe let me see if there's something I do on my end.
Run, guess strong, 9-yard flat pass to Dalton Hilliard from Bobby Hebert. 2nd and 1 at the 10. Let's go for a short pass to Eric Martin. Mike is really good at double teaming, so you kind of have to run him out of that. To run him to get him to call run like he's doing now. Touchdown! And we play with carded fumbles, so that 5 on a running back card would have been a split chance. Mike ended my 40-game winning streak, by the way, last night in SFFDL.
40-game winning streak?
Yeah. I had 40 games in a row.
Is that in the SSFDL?
Yeah.
Yeah, including postseason?
Including postseason, yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. They'll never be matched, that's for sure. Yeah.
I just made my screen bigger. Let me see what happens now. Oh, now my ass is acting funny.
Don't worry about it. This is good. Just talking.
Okay. I'll hang up. Yeah, it's still not good enough. What said some things won't take effect until I reboot it anyway, so maybe that was part of the equation there.
I looked at my schedule, and so Mifa, I'm so screwed. I play like a 6-2 team, a 7-1 team.
and good coaches.
Yeah. This is just one of those lost seasons for me.
Why did those? Hold on a second.
Chuck Long's 1 of 7 so far for 8 yards. Poor Chuck. Short pass to Carl Ballard. Boom. Down goes Chuck Long. That is the long and short of it. 19-yard punt. Mel Gray, 19-yard return. I really have no idea how Mike made it this far.
Well, it doesn't sound like the league has the greatest coaching.
It's got some pretty good coaching. Ron Dickinson, Zeb Strong. Ron Dickinson coached the Vikings. The Vikings really won the division that year. Oh, almost threw a pick. But somehow Mike just outcoached him.
Yeah, well, but those are some those Viking teams, late 80s, early 90s, where they had some good records, some pretty decent records some of those years. Those were always very difficult teams to get going in Strat.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. The offense was just always so plodding. And the defense, like it looked nice with like their good ratings and pass rush and stuff, but it didn't look like a real strong 80s Strat defense. It didn't come close to like like an 86 Giants or teams like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or even like Denver used to actually get some pretty good Strat defenses. Denver probably would do better in a lot of replays in the 80s, even in a Super Bowl game, than they did in the NFL in the Super Bowl. I play like the Saints. The Saints would get good run defense cards with good pass rushes. Your run defense cards are pretty good.
Yeah, the zero nose tackle, but if you have min and zone, it's really darn good. Like here, let's look at it.
I can't see that.
Yeah, it's average to good. So, no short gains.
Yeah.
Even the edge numbers are not big, +8 only, just long gain on the.
That's the thing with the stock teams. And in 3-4, you put one linebacker in there. It's so much better.
Yep.
And like, why should that be better than a 4-3 with no linebackers?
True. So he's got 9 carries from his running back.
Especially on the line book. Because the off tackle, you could argue, well, you could run the other way, and you're getting no men,
Right.
But a line book with one linebacker is pretty much a 4-3 linebacker.
23-yard completion. Nice job.
Like the quarterbacks on those Vikings teams, you have Steve Dills, Wade Wilson.
Yeah. Who's that guy? I'm trying to think of.
That Tommy Kramer.
Tommy Kramer. That's it. Tommy Kramer in '83. He was the backup.
Well, this is '88.
No, I know, but I'm just saying in '83 he was the backup, and that was the first time I got the Seahawks to the Super Bowl against Ron Dickinson, and he only had like 60 pass attempts, but he had this crazy flat pass card where everything was completion. Those kind of cards.
Yeah.
And he smoked me. So.
Well, Tommy Kramer had some decent cards. Yeah, but I'm saying, but the Vikings, like late '80s, early '90s, had like some NFL teams like that. They had a good defense. They might go 10-6 or 9-6-1 or something weird. And in Strat, they just looked kind of. It was hard to get them to be like above 500.
Right.
They looked more like a 7-9 Strat team.
Yeah.
Because the quarterbacks, by that time, it was like Steve Dills, Wade Wilson. And the running game, if you're lucky, you get a good Darren Nelson call with like good wrong with not that many attempts. But,
I'm really happy I got the Seahawks to the Super Bowl with this '88 team because it's not their best team. It had this is the year they went 9-7. They did go to the playoffs. They won the West. Like everybody was bad in the AFC West that year. They won the West, but then remember they played the Bengals in the playoffs, and that was when Sam Weiss was running that up-tempo offense.
Sure.
And Joe Nash kept going down with his trick knee, his injury, the nose tackle, this zero nose tackle. Oh, my knee hurts, just to slow Sam Weiss down from running the no huddle. So that was like the big controversy back then. The Bengals still beat him, but that was Chuck Knox's.
That was not the championship game, though, was it?
That was a first-round game. No, it was a. Yeah.
The Bengals beating the championship game. In Miami, maybe?
That's a good question. You pull up Pro Football Reference. I think they did. I think they beat Buffalo.
I don't feel like clicking around too much.
Okay.
88 Buffalo made the AFC championship game. I'll look it up. Maybe Cleveland.
Cleveland. Fumble. That's what I'm thinking about these sets. They don't have any differences between right and wrong on the fumbles. It's 2 through 7 right, 2 through 7 wrong. This is like one of the earlier sets before.
Recording?
Yeah, before Mike Kane would do a better job, I think.
Well, I think they but this is an original set. So they just took the cards and put on the computer and bumped up the flat pass.
Oh, okay.
So this is what it's not a anything from 1982 to the present. They didn't recard the set. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it could benefit. This is one of the ones I think could benefit from it. Long pass.
The AFC North, the AFC Central rather, had 3 teams in the playoffs that year. Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Houston all won 10 or more games.
That's it. Houston was a really good team too.
Buffalo's 12. Yeah, that's a Warren Moon team.
Yeah.
Buffalo's 12-4. I didn't realize in '88 they were already 12-4.
Yeah.
I would have guessed. Miami is 6-10. I would have guessed that.
Micah does these triple-double teams.
Detroit was 4-12. They scored 220 points.
4-12, and he got them to 8-8, winning the Central, the NFC Central, and made them all the way to the AFC or the NFC Championship game.
AFC wild.
I thought about letting him win so I could more easily beat the Lions with the Seahawks.
The Oilers beat Cleveland in Cleveland in the AFC wild card 24-23. The Vikings beat the Rams in the NFC wild card 28-17. Then in the divisional round, I think this was the Fog Bowl. The Bears beat Philly 20-12, and the Bengals beat Seattle 21-13. The home teams won. The Niners crushed Minnesota 34-9, getting revenge for the previous year when they lost in the playoffs to Minnesota, which surprised everybody in '87 strike year. Buffalo beat Houston 17-10. Then in the championship game, you had I don't remember this championship game at all. Cincinnati beat Buffalo 21-10.
Told you it was Buffalo.
Yeah, I know you did. The NFC, I remember this game. The 49ers destroyed the Bears 20-3 in Chicago. Ronnie Lott was all pumped up after the game. It's like, the finesse ass San Francisco, the finesse ass 49ers came into Chicago and beat up the big bad Bears. He was yelling in the locker room after the game.
That's funny.
I don't know who's quarterback in that Bears team, but the Bears did, yeah. And Niners 2016 over the Bengals in that Super Bowl. You know what everyone forgets about that Super Bowl? We'll talk about Joe Montana and how great he was and how clutch he was and how he was seemingly flawless, And of course, Joe was a great player and maybe the best quarterback of all time. But the game-winning catch to John Taylor.
Yeah.
The play before that, Montana threw it right into the arms of Cincinnati defensive back Lewis Billups, who dropped it.
Oh, no, I remember that. Yeah, totally remember that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't remember that. I would say most people. You and I maybe a little more into football. But, I mean, if that guy catches the ball, how differently do we think of both the Bengals and Joe Montana? Now Montana will still get 3 Super Bowls or whatever, but I'm just saying. Yep. People think of him as infallible.
Well, think about this. If the Seahawks would have run it in there 2 years ago, it would have been 10 years now between the times that Belichick and Brady won their last Super Bowl. And instead of thinking about them as like, oh my God, they're so great, they would have been 3-3 in the Super Bowls. Yeah, but still 3 championships, and then 3 other close defeats in the Super Bowl. That still would have been great for them. I think the larger impact would have been on the Seahawks. The Seahawks right now, the fans following them right now, like me and you and other people, think of the Seahawks as a truly elite team, Right. And but if they would have won that Super Bowl, if they would have won that game, they would already be cemented as the legacy would really be cemented. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And as a true dynasty, as opposed to, they got to get at least one more, I guess. I mean, we all know they're good enough, and there's only one play, and it's weird that way with football, but I mean, that's the way fans think. Yeah. I mean, how much differently would you think of Joe Flacco and Colin Kaepernick if they called interference against Michael Crabtree in the end zone at the end of the Super Bowl and the Niners won, or they completed one of those passes? They're like the 5-yard line, Yeah. And same thing with the 49ers really could have won 3 Super Bowls. The Sherman, they would have beaten Denver that year.
It's hard to say that Denver would have won all those games.
Well, they definitely would have beat Denver. Denver was like...
You can't know for sure. Every team matches up differently. You can't know for sure.
That's true.
I mean, the Niners defense was real good, but the Seahawks defense did seem better when it came to maybe like pass rush and turnovers and stuff like that, Yeah. It's hard to say for sure, I mean, Denver let that game get away from them early. I don't know. It's hard to say for sure. I think. I mean, I don't think it's fair to equate that Denver team as like an automatic Super Bowl loser. Like maybe something like the '80s Elway team is going to be. Those teams had no chance in those games. I don't know. Tough to say. But talk about like a play here or there. I mean, Atlanta had the ball at like the 7-yard line, 4th and goal to try and beat the Niners in the NFC Championship game one of those years. True. I think before the Niners played the Ravens in the Super Bowl, so they could have made it. Right. And then we talked about the play at the end of Seattle's game. How differently we'll be thinking of them if they won back-to-back Super Bowls. They shouldn't have even been there. Right. The guy catches the onside kick or whatever, So it's like, but so a lot of times, so the common fans, they forget about that and they focus on just whoever wins is all that matters. And the Ravens are champs because of that. Because they couldn't get it to Crabtree while the Niners are bums. It's like, how much Joe Flacco is sort of so much differently if they lose that game.
True.
which is crazy because he had nothing to do with what happened on fourth down there.
No, absolutely not. And then they had that one, with the Seahawks Super Bowl against the Patriots, they were, the week before, the Patriots barely lost because some Baltimore receiver dropped the pass in the end zone. Was that Lee something or other?
Yeah, that was Evans.
Lee Evans, yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't that year, I don't think. I don't think it was that year. I think it was a couple years earlier.
Oh, was it? I thought it was the year the Seahawks played.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I have to look it up. I feel like I remember the Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl more recently than I remember Lee Evans dropping the ball in the end zone. You know?
Possible.
I'll Google it though. But I was thinking about that also. I was like, oh yeah, how much can you think about like how good a quarterback is on a bad team or how bad a quarterback is on a good team? Like people have talked about it before. We all know a quarterback is the most important position, but does it get too much credit? Does it get too much blame? I think it depends on the situation. Like he was talking, like you had an article this week is like, can we please forget about like the quarterback wins and the quarterback winning percentage? And it was a picture of like, Trevor Siemian and Drew Brees, who were the dueling quarterbacks in last week's Bronco victory over the Saints, Yeah. It was like, Trevor Siemian won the game. He was awful, Drew Brees was like Trevor Siemian won the game and he was like lackluster against a bad NFL defense. Drew Brees lost the game and he played pretty well against one of the NFL's best defenses. So it's like, and how come Drew Brees lost? Because when both of them were on the sideline, there was a blocked extra point return for 2 points. It's like, so, there's something to that. I think in certain cases, we all know Brad Johnson and Trent Dilfer were not elite quarterbacks, We all know Andrew Luck is, whatever you think about him, he's at least pretty good. Andrew Luck is pretty good, but it's like he's floundering on the Colts, and the 4-5. So it's like, well, how much credit can you give these guys,
True.
It's tough. It's tough to assess, I think, Or sometimes, I think Russell Wilson has kind of as escape vet now, because he's played so well, and he's obviously not a game manager, and that, you see him and you see this last year and this year especially, that he's just a really, really good quarterback and one of the best quarterbacks in the game.
Yeah, it's funny how people don't really think that he's having a good year this year, but I think he's having one of his best years, considering what he's been able to do with how banged up he's been, minimizing mistakes still, and they're still competing and being in games where if the backup would have been in there, no way they would have won. So,
well, if comparing a guy to his backup though isn't always, oh look, I'm much better than the scrub on the bench. Okay, it doesn't.
No, but the option is to be selfish and sit out, worrying about your health.
Oh, I got you.
But he's willing to sacrifice that, even though he's not putting up, can't run the whole playbook. It's putting himself at risk.
Yeah, I got you. He's definitely even in this state, he's performing much better than the rookie on the bench would. Certainly,
yeah,
I would think, unless he's another Dak Prescott.
You never know.
Well, there you go. Dak Prescott's a great example of that. I mean, he's doing great with what they're asking him to do, and his numbers are good for a guy who's not throwing the ball as much and this and that. But how much, but how good of a quarterback is Dak Prescott? He's a great offensive line. He's got an excellent young running back. That defenses are terrified of these guys. The defense is even playing pretty well this year, so it's easier for him, But it's
right.
So you got to give him credit, but how much credit do you give him? So it's tough. It's tough to evaluate.
I agree.
I think Russell's average gain was over 8 yards. Now I was looking at the league leaders today.
What is it going to take for Strat to actually card him like a guy who can throw deep? He had almost 9 yards per attempt last year, and got one of the crappiest long pass cards in the set.
Well, I think this year what's going to help you with Russell's card is that the pass run percentage plays a big role in the game.
Yeah.
in carding these guys. I believe, and it's been like 50-50 for most of Russell's career, which in the modern NFL is extremely run heavy.
That's true. Yeah.
And most teams are easily at 60% or more in terms of pass run. A lot of teams are 2/3 pass run. But this year, I'm looking at it right now. Russell's the Seahawks, because I won't discount Russell. I got to get Tanner McAvoy's pass in there. The Seahawks have got 315 attempts passing, only 214 rushing.
Right.
What have you guys played? 9 games? It's 6-1, right?
Yeah.
And part of that is Russell's only got 31 rushing attempts, which is 3.5 a game. Normally, he would have had, he'd have probably had more like 5 a game, or maybe 6 a game. And that would give 23 more runs, 23 fewer passes. But even then, they'd have like 50 more passes than runs. So that should help his card this year compared to the past. And look, he's got 67% completed, an average gain of 8. He needs to get the touchdown numbers up. Kurt Klein thinks that the touchdowns really help your short pass right column. He told me that many years ago. And I've looked at that at certain guys. Like Matt Ryan this year, I think he only threw like 19 or 21 touchdowns last year. And his complete percentage is good, but his short pass right column is really not that great, So I don't know if Kurt's right or wrong in that, but it's something I look at every now and then if a guy seems to be undercarded, So, but also, like I heard a stat during the game of the night that like the Seahawks have like by far like the best completion percentage on long passes, but they try like fewer than almost than like they're looking at the bottom like 4 or 5 teams of how many they try, So that's going to hurt them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And reputation. Russell's first 2 or 3 years. Look, you're playing on a team with a great strat defense and Marshawn Lynch back there. It's going to hurt your quarterback's card, and his reputation was a little more as a game manager. And now I think now he's emerged from that.
Yeah.
It's going to tell you what's going to hurt you if he's must running at 1.9 yards a carry. He's got 31. He's got 31 carries in 9 games, 2.5. No, 3.5, so 48. See, if I do with 54 attempts and a low average like this, he's going to get a fair amount of must runs in his card. He's going to get at least like 6 units of must run, and that'll be terrible. That'll hurt his card.
No, but you got to take out the kneel downs. So
That's
if
true.
there's
a lot of kneel downs.
2 or 3 kneel downs.
Yeah, but I'm just saying normally 54 attempts. His longest run is only 9 yards in the season, so they're even taking out the kneel downs. But I just say normally 54 attempts rushing for a quarterback is going to get you a few must runs, maybe like 6 or so. I'm going to guess. See how many Andy Dalton had last year, because Andy Dalton's got a surprise. He's got like 8 units of must run, I think, on his card. But you don't think of Andy Dalton certainly as
a scrambler. Yeah, I kind of hope that he doesn't. Well, I don't know. The must runs have been one of his signature things. I was going to say I hope he doesn't run much the rest of the way and just stays in the pocket. That would be interesting to see what kind of card he gets with that type of stats.
Oh, that's the problem is that they factor in the whole season. Last year, Dalton had 57 attempts with a 2.5 average. Now, they're winning a lot of games, so you figured those would be a lot of kneel downs. Now, he missed a few games at the end. Let me see how many games he played. I assume you're winning handily. It was 24-7 last I looked.
I just got a fumble, and he got a sniper scope on me, so 24-14 now.
Are you free safety blitzing him?
At that one I was, yeah, but he was already like at the 25. I'm not doing it until he gets closer.
You're not doing it willy-nilly, okay. You're doing it to prevent touchdowns close to the red zone, but you're not doing it to give a big play, okay.
Exactly.
I don't want to jinx you. Since you blame 2 of your defeats to us talking while we played. But then I almost beat you in the Berlin game. Then we were not talking during that one.
That's true.
But that was like a horseshit luck game,
Yeah, we all have those. Tim Bollier lost tonight in autumn win.
Oh, you got the one. Oh, you got
Michael Reeves. Michael Reeves was like hadn't had a win yet. He'd only scored 40 points all year, but he beat Oakland like 38-27 tonight. So
wow.
Tim must have had that kind of luck in that game.
Oh, absolutely. Because if I recall, that Michael Reeves team is awful.
Right.
I mean, they're completely future oriented. Oh no, I remember that actually.
He has a good secondary, but his run is like very poor.
Yeah, it is literally very poor. Yeah, I remember they can actually do a couple of things. Like they're a bad team. He's going to lose easily at least 10 games, but they're not like my SSFA team this past year. It's like he can do a couple of things. I don't remember what they are. So maybe does he have Marcus Mariota or somebody? He might have.
He's got Adrian Peterson.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, you get Adrian Peterson, a good secondary. You can win it. You can maybe get lucky, win a couple of games.
Yeah.
You don't expect to beat Tim, of course. You got a strong team. Tim doesn't like that stuff. Happened to my AFW. Did I delete my? No, there it is. Okay. Do I have to repatch now? What version are we on? We on H?
G.
It says G, but I'm nervous that I.
Yeah, we're on G.
Well, no, I don't have to patch because I ran the install, but all I did was choose to install the season. I didn't reinstall the whole game. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, just make sure you're on G still.
It says G here.
Okay, you're good.
I should repatch just to make sure. I don't want it hindering the beginning of a game.
I think you're fine. If it says G, you're G.
To my Berlin team schedule is tough, boy. That team's gonna win, but that team could easily go 2-14. I'm 1-3, but I'll probably win. I'll probably win between 3 and 5 games.
I lost to Butch one game. It was one of those crazy games where everything goes wrong.
Butch the Saints or the Voodoo?
The Voodoo.
But he's not a bad team.
No, he's got a good team. He's a good coach. Yeah, I beat him in the replay because we played twice in the same quarter. So that should seal it.
I'm tabbed off. I'm looking at other stuff. Where did you get a bomb or something?
Yeah, Defender X. It was 2nd and 20 after a holding penalty. Defender X or plus 27 took it down to the 2, and I just snuck it in with it. Bobby Hebert, 31-14, 10 minutes left.
I think Michael Reeves was my lone sums for a loss. I think that was him. And in SSFA, he beat me 17-16. He got all kinds of luck. And his team wasn't that great, but my team was awful. That was the game. Like week 7 and week 8. That was the game I could have really easily won and not got winless. But I'm okay with winless.
You're going to still wind up with the number 1 pick, so.
Yeah, that's what. I'll tell you one thing. When you go 0-16,
a little more confusing now with Gurley, huh? Not quite the no-brainer.
It's not confusing to me in terms of Gurley. I'm not taking Gurley, that's for sure.
No, but you had talked about is it Gurley or Ezekiel Elliott you want in one league?
Well, before the season started, I was like, yeah, I'll take Gurley. I'm going to take Gurley next year. But obviously things change. I'm not going to take Gurley now.
Right. That's the beauty of having a spring league. Pick 6, 38-14.
Nice. That's what
Nancy says hi.
Tell Nancy I said hello as well.
Yeah, Tom says hello.
Tell her at long last, thank you cards will eventually be coming out in the next week. According to etiquette, we have 3 months, and we're pushing it. Well, it takes us long to do things, and she's been a little sick at times lately. Let's get Matt Cassell, his quarterback, Michael Reeves. A nice team, though. Oh, you must be talking to the wife. I think you're muted now. No, what would you do? You dropped this broadcast, Dennis? Silent but deadly? Would you just talk to the wife?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I unplugged my microphone so you could talk to Nancy, and then when I unplugged it, it threw out the whole thing off. But Nancy says, don't worry about it, about the thank you cards. Take your time and all that good stuff.
Excellent. You showed her any? You showed her those pictures on Facebook or no?
I did, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was very nice wedding. Beautiful.
Yeah, I have to. Yeah, I have to upload a whole bunch more. Vanessa to give me this code that she keeps. What was that? A return?
He got a long gain on an end run, and then he took it in. Still 17-point lead.
That's fourth quarter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over, Johnny.
Those pesky Lions.
Just don't do anything stupid.
Well, the thing is, with carded fumbles, sometimes running it's more dangerous than passing.
Yeah, absolutely. Did Dan Morin really have fourth down with 1 second left? Or was it 8 seconds left?
I couldn't believe it. I just take a knee.
It was 1 second left on fourth down.
8 seconds left. No, it was 1 second left.
Yeah, because there was 8 seconds left. There's a fumble.
See, I told you.
If it was 8 seconds left, you would have got the ball after he took a knee.
Right. So no, all he had to do was take a knee.
Damn, son.
I know, crazy.
Did he at least punt it out of bounds?
He didn't even try to.
What the fuck?
I don't know. He was so giddy. He was so giddy at beating me. He's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna punt it away." I said, even as soon as he punted it, I hadn't returned it yet. I said, "Dude, you have to take a knee there." I says, "Now all I need is a lucky snake eyes, and I win it."
Oh, really? You typed it in?
And then I typed it in, and then I clicked it. Sure enough, touchdown. He's like, oh. It was so funny.
Yeah, he's So what I'm talking now, this is going to be on the broadcast?
Oh, I'm going to redo it. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, I had to say good night to my wife. You there?
That's all right. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I occasionally mute my microphone. So this will not be on the broadcast, what we're saying.
I'm not going to release this, no. I'll just redo it, and I'll watch it silently and then record a new Hangout and put my audio on it.
Okay. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything, that would be... You know what I'm saying? I would want to speak openly about things and not feel like, Tom's true feelings are going to come out about something,
You're good. You should start up a Hangout, though, to do this.
Yeah. All right. I'm using my mic here.
Okay.
I'm still listening to you, though. But I can still hear you if you need to say anything.
Okay. They're coming from the front of the house.